I'm obsessed with the videos of Europeans asking Americans who they voted for. They're on the right side of history, and I feel like as an American, if that upsets you or offends you, we know who the fuck you voted for.
Oh my god, you're Canadian. Why do you even care about American politics? Let me let you in on a little secret. Every time America farts, it gets huffed right up our fucking nose. Every piece of unhinged conservative policy or rhetoric that comes out of the United States plants little seeds of ideas in the minds of Canadian conservatives, and then we have to deal with it.
Over half of Americans can't read above a 6th grade level. And before you blame poor communities, nah, it's everyone, rich neighborhoods included. We're ranked 17th in science, 25th in math, and dead last in basic critical thinking. Meanwhile, the whole world is watching and laughing. Today we're diving into a compilation that exposes just how broken our education system really is. From fake government spending reports to people who can't name basic inventors, this is going to hurt to watch. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this guy's making me really uncomfortable. I don't know, he's like big and brown.
Oh.
I don't think he belongs here.
Because of AU loud.
No, like I just moved here, but he doesn't belong here.
She really meant that one.
Dude, I work for Google.
Okay, MAGA, don't beat me up on this. I owe you a huge apology. So hear me out, bear with me, and listen before you jump all over me. Right? Here it comes. So back when Biden was running for office and everybody said he was too old and he was senile, I now have to agree with you because Biden came out. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Biden came out and he said Isaac Neutron invented the light bulb. Isaac fucking Neutron. Who the fuck is Isaac Neutron?
The audacity, right? We spent years hearing about cognitive decline and age-related memory issues, and then someone gets on stage and confidently announces that Isaac Neutron invented the light bulb, like we got Isaac Newton, the physicist, we got Thomas Edison, who actually invented the bulb, and somehow this man created a whole new person by mashing them together with Jimmy. Neutron the cartoon. This is your negotiator with world leaders. Can't even make it through 4th grade history without inventing fictional scientists. The bar is in hell.
I owe you a huge apology. Oh, wait, no, that was fucking Trump that said that. Isaac fucking Neutron invented the light bulb. He's such a fucking idiot. He's senile and he's an imbecile on top of it. So if you're MAGA, here's my question to you. Who do you think invented the light bulb? Make you comment below. Fucking idiots.
Your thoughts on the first 100 days of the Trump presidency?
I think it's wonderful. I think he's a wonderful president, the best president that really loves the American people, and he loves us. He loves his country because, you know, he's the only man that could do this. I mean, who can replace this wonderful man that we have right now?
I never turn on the news. I never turn on the TV. I never listen to any of that.
So where do you get your information if you don't watch the news?
I get my information from Telegram.
What would you say if I told you that Biden was on Epstein's flight log 7 times?
I would definitely believe that. I know he has, as a liberal, he has a lot of ties to like the Clintons, who also have a strong tie to Jeffrey Epstein, and I would not be surprised to hear that.
But the person who's been on Epstein's flight log 7 times was Trump.
Really? I'm guessing you guys aren't for Trump? I see.
I love everything about Donald Trump. I've been following him since he came down the escalator. Yeah.
I loved everything that he has implemented in the past, so I love if we could put that back into office to keep that going.
Like what stuff?
I like border control.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's a big point.
We should be working to fix what's happening at the border.
Yeah.
It feels like Congress is just sitting on their hands right now doing nothing.
Yes.
They brought up a bill to do something, and Trump said, no freaking way. Why was that a good idea?
See, this is the problem with blind loyalty. You got folks complaining that Congress sits around doing nothing. But the second Congress brings up actual legislation to address problems, their guy kills the bill and they celebrate it. You can't have it both ways, bro. Either you want action or you want obstruction, but you can't scream about inaction then. Cheer when solutions get blocked. That's not political strategy. That's just following orders without a single critical thought. This is what happens when team loyalty replaces actual principles.
I don't know.
The scariest but also most brilliant and accurate prediction about America that I have ever heard was written in 1995 by a man named Carl Sagan in his book, The Demon Haunted World. It's a passage that I've reflected on time and time again as sort of a lighthouse when trying to make decisions or thinking about who I do or don't want to become. And it goes like this. I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or grandchildren's time when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the key manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues. When the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide, almost without noticing, back into superstition and darkness. The dumbing down of America is most evident in the slow decay of substantive content in the enormously influential media, the 30-second sound bites, now down to 10 seconds or less, lowest common denominator programming, credulous presentations on pseudoscience and superstition, but especially a kind of celebration of ignorance. Oh my God! We have got to get our shit together.
I'm obsessed with the videos of Europeans asking Americans who they voted for. They're on the right side of history, and I feel like as an American, if that upsets you or offends you, we know who the fuck you voted for.
Oh my God, you're Canadian. Why do you even care about American politics? Let me let you in on a little secret. Every time America farts, it gets huffed right up our fucking nose. Every piece of unhinged conservative policy or rhetoric that comes out of the United States plants little seeds of ideas in the minds of Canadian conservatives, and then we have to deal with it. America routinely and regularly exerts pressure over Canada to play ball with what it wants, which isn't always good for us. In a lot of instances, it isn't. And America being...
This right here is crucial to understand. American policy doesn't stay contained within American borders. Every unhinged idea, every conspiracy theory, every anti-science talking point that gains traction here spreads like wildfire to Canada, Australia, Europe, everywhere. Because America sets global trends whether we want that responsibility or not. When misinformation and poor education takes root in the most powerful country on earth, the whole world has to deal with their own citizens picking up those same brain-dead ideas. It's like living next door to someone who keeps setting their house on fire and then acting shocked when the smoke drifts through your windows and damages your property. That's why every other developed nation is watching this situation and either laughing or genuinely concerned, because they know they're going to have to clean up the mess that spills over their borders.
A global hegemonic power, it does this all over the world. Sometimes, often, a lot more forcefully. For decades, America has either directly or indirectly facilitated regime changes around the world by force, simply because those regime changes were to the benefit of the United States and capitalism in general. So yeah, I'm not American, but I care about American politics, not because I want to, but because I have to.
Who voted for Trump here? Fuck, I divided the room, oh my God. But this worked a little bit better in Florida, I'll say that. A little bit more united in Florida, I'd say that, yeah. Dude, it's so funny, true story. I did this in Florida, I asked people, just, I do this sometimes. I was like, hey, who voted for Trump? He was right after the election. Not only did they start cheering, dude, I got a full USA chant.
Listen, this feels like a rally.
Unbelievable. Listen, I disagree with the notion. I think it's a little too extreme, but also, that shit feels powerful, dude. I was on stage, I was like, don't do this to me as a German, I felt a little triggered, It was triggering. I was this close to doing a perfect Hitler Roman salute twice. Dude, I almost gave my heart out to them, dude. It was crazy. I almost became a little bit autistic for a second, yeah.
Unfortunately, nobody saw the president's tweets before they made it to the voting booths. I guess we must have missed the memo on voting no to save America, because indeed we voted yes to actually save America. You guys are asleep, wake up. They went ahead, Associated Press has called the election in favor of redistricting in Virginia, which is a cause for celebration, because at this point where we are in this democracy economy, there wasn't a whole lot to celebrate, but today we get to celebrate. Now, the president has been very quiet on these interwebs, and I'm assuming he might be busy or eating or sleeping, so he might not know. Somebody go tell him real quick. He might not know that Virginia has redistricted, and there will now be 5 less Republican seats. But he don't know yet, y'all. He don't know yet. I think he's still asleep or something, because I went ahead and checked his Truth Social and it's been crickets over there. And shout out to everybody in Virginia, from the voters, 1,000% the voters, to the lawmakers, and everybody who collectively came together and decided to save our democracy.
Elon Musk were here right now, what would you tell him?
Go back where you come from.
America or
Where he came from.
South Africa?
South Africa?
South Africa, right?
Oh, gotta go.
According to the study, a growing number of American seniors are lagging behind their international counterparts when it comes to the crucial knowledge that things don't just disappear if you're not looking at them.
Because it exists even if your eyes can't see it. Am I making sense?
No. U.S. high schoolers have dropped to 17th in science, 25th in math, and a troubling 180th place in the basic cognitive awareness most humans develop as toddlers. Secretary of Education Arnie Duncan is asking Congress to fund increased after-school disguise and reveal programs.
I'm still here, right? By the time
Listen to these numbers and try not to scream. American high schoolers rank 17th in science, 25th in math, and somehow 181st in object permanence. That's the concept that things still exist when you're not looking at them. Babies learn this during peekaboo. We got teenagers struggling with cognitive skills that should be mastered before age 2. But instead of fixing this during early childhood development when it actually matters, we're waiting until high school when the damage is already done. You cannot build a strong nation on a foundation of people who can't think critically. Yet here we are cutting education funding while wondering why everything's falling apart.
when they get to high school, it's too late. You have to identify the problem between 15 months and 18 months. It's time to get the kids excited to learn the most obvious mental concepts that make us capable of functioning.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do better. It's just I don't know how I'm supposed to learn anything if I don't even have a teacher.
I'm still here, Vanessa.
Oh, God damn it.
See, this is what I mean when I say people who say the US is super illiterate might be illiterate themselves by the standard that they're using to say that. I did a massive deep dive into this in my YouTube video uploaded May 1st. You might see a different title or thumbnail, but it's from May 1st. Please check it out. It took so much work. But this commenter says, our English literacy is slightly worse than Germany's English literacy. Do you not see how that is a fucking problem? So you did not read the fucking source. I showed this table, which their claim is the English literacy table because the PIAAC measures in any language. I was just looking at the English scores, not the German scores, where America is obviously much lower than Germany. Now, Germany does have very good English proficiency. Actually, might have more than the US because English is not an official language in the US. Despite what an executive order says, that is not the law. And even if it was the law, that only happened a year ago. It doesn't mean all the people who didn't speak English before suddenly speak English. About a quarter of the US population doesn't even speak English at home. But that doesn't even matter because I know you didn't look at the source, even though I showed it to you yesterday, so I'll show it to you again. Look at PIAAC Reader's Companion, click on that's the OECD website where this report comes from. Download the PDF, Control F, look for German. You'll see that Austria, Germany, and Switzerland tested people in German. They were all tested in their local national languages. The only countries that even allowed people to do the background questionnaire that was in a language that they could not take the actual test in were the United States and Norway. And once again, the Gallup study, which was looking at the economic gains of eradicating illiteracy and came up with a crazy definition of illiteracy, which is where people keep getting the idea 21% of Americans are illiterate based on this definition. They literally said Latin American immigrants had the most to gain because they had the lowest scores on this test, because they don't speak English and they were tested in English, even though they could sign up for the test and do the background questionnaire in Spanish. The PIAAC document itself from the OECD says that Germany only tested in German. People only signed up in German. They did not test people's English literacy in Germany. And here you are saying there's a German literacy table based on the PIAAC. Why don't you show it to us? You can comment pictures on TikTok, but you didn't even look at the source, obviously, because the source says they tested.
My guy just pulled out the receipts and destroyed the whole narrative. People love throwing around that 21% illiteracy statistic, sharing it on social media, acting like they did research. But they never actually read the source documents. He showed that Germany tested Germans in German, while the US tested everyone in English, including recent immigrants who don't speak it fluently. Of course, the numbers look different when you're comparing completely different methodologies. The irony is people citing illiteracy statistics can't even evaluate whether their own sources are reliable. You're literally proving the point about poor critical thinking skills. While trying to argue that the problem doesn't exist, That is the educational crisis in a nutshell.
Germans in German. All these people who want to say so badly that the USA is the most illiterate country on earth can't even read the sources when I show them to you. The 21% illiterate definition comes from this study, which says anyone below level 3 is illiterate. Reminder, those are scores less than 276 points, which is above the global average, of which the US is also above. And yes, these were all tested in their local national language. Just because Japan has a lot of English education doesn't mean it's good. I did a video about this. Japanese educators literally say their English education sucks. Japan did not outscore the US in English literacy. You're crazy. And not being able to evaluate reliability of text is part of illiteracy by this definition. So you should consider yourself illiterate.
We're dumb as hell. Over half of Americans read below a 6th grade level. Not struggling readers, bro. The majority of Americans. And before you say, oh, that's poor communities. Nah, dude, it's y'all rich people too. More than income, more than your neighborhood. And this is the thing. This is America. The land of opportunity. So you could be a dumb motherfucker and still be rich. One of the biggest indicators is a mother's reading level. Because if you're dumb as rocks, it's more likely that your kid's going to be dumb as rocks. California is the wealthiest state in the entire nation, and they have the lowest adult literacy rate. And I need you to understand that a child who cannot read proficiently by grade 3 is 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. And listen, the system changed. For decades, school taught reading using something called whole language learning. And that basically teaches kids to learn how to read based on context clues. And scientists have known since the 90s that not teaching phonetics doesn't work. But schools kept doing it anyway. And then we went and handed an entire generation phones before they could read. And when 54% of a developed nation can't read above a 6th grade level, that's not a statistic. That was a strategy.
We can never let this guy live this down. Because Oregon State Senator Daniel Bonham has the media literacy of a newborn koala, he sent out a state-issued newsletter with fake government spending numbers that originated from a parody Twitter account. You know, the one claiming the Pentagon spent $600 million on sushi, or the Air Force spent almost $1,300 per paper coffee cup? Yeah, completely made up. But this guy, he saw it floating around Facebook, probably sandwiched between a Minions meme and a Sheriff You Love America post, and thought, yep, seems legit. I should send it to the people of Oregon. Sir, if your fact-checking process is see Facebook post, type up a newsletter, and hit send, you probably shouldn't be making decisions for other people. Just a thought. But I guess critical thinking was too expensive for their budget.
Think that Kamala...
An elected state senator sent out an official government newsletter with completely fabricated spending numbers from a parody Twitter account. This man makes actual policy decisions that affect thousands of people. And he couldn't spend 30 seconds verifying whether the Pentagon really spent $600 million on sushi. His fact-checking process was literally see post on Facebook type newsletter. Send. That's it. No verification, no source checking, no critical thinking whatsoever. And people wonder why others question the competency of our leadership. If you're getting your information from memes and parody accounts, you shouldn't be trusted with governing responsibilities. The standards are non-existent.
Harris is not as competent as Donald Trump. What type of insane is this? I can show you so many clips of Donald Trump being insane. He said the climate's going to start cooling and that science just doesn't know it yet. How about this one? This one's really good.
So I think one area of mutual agreement and priority is vegetation management. But I think we want to work with you to really recognize the changing climate and what it means to our forests, and actually work together with that science. That science is going to be key, because if we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay, it'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Hey, well, I don't think science knows, actually.
What the f did he say there? He thinks that science doesn't know yet, and he thinks the climate's going to start cooling. He's denying a scientific consensus identified by more than 97% of climate scientists that not only indicate that climate change, right, is leading to global temperatures increasing, but also that it's human caused.
That's a whole other subject that has to be on a world basis, not just US based.
That's objectively verifiable information that he's wrong on. Objectively verifiable information that he's wrong. Like, literally.
First, that the Republican Party, at least those who have been driving policy, they're not America first, they're Israel first. And because Israel...
Let's be real about what's happening here. You got a movement claiming to put America first, but their actual foreign policy is whatever benefits another country's regional strategy. Billions in taxpayer dollars flowing overseas, pushing for regime changes that don't make Americans safer or more prosperous. Meanwhile, domestic infrastructure is crumbling. Healthcare costs are bankrupting families. Education system is producing functionally illiterate adults. But sure, let's keep prioritizing foreign entanglements over our own citizens' needs. The cognitive dissonance is wild, screaming about putting Americans first, while actively ignoring their struggles to fund conflicts that serve someone else's interests. You can't claim to care about regular people, while your policies consistently abandon them for geopolitical chess games they never asked to play.
Thinks that regime change in Iran or destabilizing Iran is in the interest of the Greater Israel Project, because Iran acts as a key deterrent to Israeli hegemony in the region. So from Israel's point of view, Iran has to be destroyed, and they want to use U.S. soldiers for that job and U.S. taxpayers to foot the bill. And you also have a party that just doesn't seem to really care about the economic impact on its base, especially given that, I mean, this is increasingly under threat, but it has been true for a while that MAGA acts as sort of a cult, where Trump is the dear leader, he can do no wrong, and if anything bad happens, it's somebody else's fault.
I have a question. So are you saying that any type of redistribution of wealth is socialism?
Yes.
Yes? So do you support socialism?
Yes. No.
Do you advocate for K through 12 education being free at the point of service?
No.
No, get rid of K through 12 free at the point of service. Do you believe in abolishing Social Security?
Yeah.
Do you believe in abolishing Medicare?
Yep.
Do you believe in abolishing Medicaid?
Yeah.
Do you believe in abolishing food stamps?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you believe in abolishing all free school lunch and breakfast for children?
Yep.
Do you believe in giving massive tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires?
Yeah.
Do you believe in having the government control water and sewer? Or electricity? Or anything?
No, the government needs to stand back. And we got to get rid of all of it. That's how we rebuild the country.
Do you think there should be private courts?
No.
So how do you fund public courts systems?
Well, the federal government through tariffs.
So taxes. So redistribution of wealth.
No, not taxes, tariffs.
What is a tariff?
Tax on importing good from an exporting country.
So a tariff is not a tax, but how you define a tariff includes the word tax within it. You want to get rid of the military?
Yeah, definitely. We could have built a force field around this nation by now.
Yeah, we could have built a force field. Yeah, we could be the Gungans from Star Wars. Yes.
We could have.
Can you tell me what evidence you have that we could have a force field around the United States?
Sure, we have the technology through microwave technology.
Microwave technology will not create a force field around our nation. Shut up, dude.
So buckle up, kids. This is going to be a bumpy ride. So 6 Russian officials were on Russian state TV, which is all Russians can do, citizens can do, is watch what's presented to them on Russian TV. And they were talking about the United States and what's going on right now. It was just recorded. And I wrote down the translations so that you don't have to. So they refer to the United States as the invisible hand of the trade market. They are enjoying Trump breaking everything, one of the men said. Then they mimicked Trump by saying, "I will be in charge of the total destruction of America." And the men all laugh. And then again, mocking Trump, they say, "My man, Howard Lutnick, a man who has crazy eyes for most of the day, he is the one who calculated these crazy formulas. And rightfully, the American media has debunked these formulas thousands of times." The men start laughing. A lot is going on over there. Why such
It's looking really pathetic.
Hello?
Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
So why Trump?
Because
Hold up, what did I just witness? Someone really out here proposing mandatory government vasectomies at 18, claiming it's reversible like it's a gym membership you can cancel. And these young dudes are just standing there, not questioning whether state-mandated surgical procedures might be totalitarian. The same people who scream about freedom and government overreach are casually nodding along to the government controlling their reproductive organs, as long as it's framed the right way. Principles mean nothing anymore. It's just whatever sounds good in the moment without any deeper thought. This is the failure of critical thinking on full display.
Well, first off,
Jesus fucking I quit, y'all.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Miller from The Bulwark. Donald Trump had 2 rallies over the weekend that were just disgusting. There is no other way to put it. The depths that he has sunk to in the type of rhetoric, targeting Kamala Harris as mentally disabled, but more ominously, discussing immigrants and police, where Donald Trump suggested that our country's going to lose our culture if we don't have mass deportations, just sounding like a blood and soil nationalist in the vein of some of the most grotesque European parties, and then discussing how police need to enact one really violent day to scare away shoplifters, I guess. This is all straight authoritarian shit. It is disgusting. It is authoritarian. It is anti-American. It is talking about preserving the racial identity of this country. Giving unlimited power to jackbooted thugs to target people. This is un-American. And apparently our media...
Every time you off, you're one of your potential kids, you know what I'm saying? We're talking to young men today about the epidemic, all right?
Hold up, what did I just witness? Someone really out here proposing mandatory government vasectomies at 18, claiming it's reversible like it's a gym membership you can cancel. And these young dudes are just standing there, not questioning whether state-mandated surgical procedures might be totalitarian. The same people who scream about freedom and government overreach are casually nodding along to the government controlling their reproductive organs, as long as it's framed the right way. Principles mean nothing anymore. It's just whatever sounds good in the moment without any deeper thought. This is the failure of critical thinking on full display.
Have you heard terms like no or cave on the internet?
Nah, I stick off the internet. Yeah, I'm not really gay, so I stick off the internet,
You're not gay, so you stick off the internet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have you heard that this thing that is bad for you is murder?
I heard that, yeah.
What have you heard?
You don't last as long with women if you know what I'm saying?
Because I believe that is alive.
Every time you off, you're one of your potential kids, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, actually, I'm glad you said you're millions of children.
Ooh, that's a lot.
So we're trying to propose this bill to get drafted right now. We'd propose state-sponsored vasectomies for young men when they turn 18.
Vasectomy? What the you mean vasectomy?
Give you a vasectomy.
What the so no children?
Well, it's a reversible procedure.
What do you mean it's a reversible? There's no reversible.
Yeah, it is. Vasectomies are reversible.
No, there's not.
Yes, they are.
What the no, they're reversible now?
Yes.
When? We got new technology?
Since the 80s, yes.
I gotta go in line with a reversible sec.
What do you think about that bill?
What are you talking about?
Well, have a good one, man. Nice to talk to you. Sad state of affairs, these young men today.
A new video, and it's from a BBC interview with a man who claimed to be an eyewitness.
So we just watched education failure play out in real time, from invented scientists to senators sharing parody posts as fact, from force field fantasies to voters who can't explain their own choices. This isn't just one side, this is a systemic breakdown in critical thinking across the board. When people can't fact-check basic claims or articulate their own beliefs, we've got a crisis. The question is, what do we actually do about it? How do we rebuild an education system that teaches people how to think instead of what to think? Drop your solutions in the comments. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to see this reality check. Subscribe for more breakdowns of the chaos. I'm out.